All right, y'all, what is going on? This is episode 521 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller, and happy Friday. We made it to another end of the week. Hopefully, you guys have had a pretty productive week. For me, a lot has been going on. I got some things in order for the following weeks ahead. Hopefully, you guys will be around to be a part of it as far as, not only this show, but still with the whole situation, what's going on here, like I talked about earlier, the possible move and all this other stuff. Hopefully, you guys will be around, and I appreciate the support. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. This show is also brought to you by BetUS. Click that link down in the description. Put down $100, get a 125% bet book bonus. You can't beat that. The NFC, AFC championship games coming up. The NBA games. You got MMA, esports, all those things. College basketball. All those things under the umbrella. Go ahead and put some money down, and hopefully you will double or triple or quadruple your money. I don't have much to say in this episode. This is pretty much starting the quiet part of the offseason, especially for, teams that are not playing right now. If you're not one of the final four teams in the NFL that's in the AFC or NFC championship game, a lot of things are kind of starting to dwindle down if your team is out there. There's some rumors about the Falcons. Georgia Southern is not going to be doing anything until later on in February, where you get another set of recruiting classes finishing up, and also you're going to start seeing some things move around when it comes to the spring game. I heard the spring game is going to be in late April. I don't have the number down. I heard it from somewhere. I think it's like the 25th or something like that, around less than 2 months away. Don't quote me on that. But it could be the 22nd. That's around the Saturday or whatever the case may be. Don't pin me down to that. That's very, very early news, and I'm not necessarily knowing, but we'll get into that when that time comes. But right now, we're still looking for a defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. There's been rumblings of Steve Wilks. If you know anything about Steve Wilks, he was the interim head coach of the Panthers. And the Panthers end up signing Frank Reich as their head coach, which is kind of weird because I thought Wilks was going to get that job, but I guess he intended to coach elsewhere. I'm not sure if he would actually go down to get the defensive coordinator job, but if there's nothing available, that may be his move. Another good fit for Atlanta. That's another rival that we're playing against. Get that information, as much information that we can from that defensive coordinator, just like I talked about the Saints coach that was supposed to be interviewing for jobs. So that's really interesting. It's gonna be, like I said, it's just gonna be really interesting to see how this all plays out, because the Falcons do definitely need a defensive coordinator. There's no doubt about that. And we're gonna see how that plays out. As far as Georgia Southern goes, Georgia Southern don't have much going on either. There's still some recruits that are going out to look at. I think Coach Clay Helton has been all over the state of Georgia once again, going to high schools, talking to coaches. The other guys on the staff have been going places. I even saw B.J. Johnson go into South Carolina looking for players. So it is really, it's just really a testament of what not just Georgia Southern, but Atlanta Falcons, what they're doing to actually try to build up their program or build up the franchises that they're a part of. You really can't get any more better than that when you're looking for a coach or a staff that's wanting to rebuild or just build what you're starting. There's also rumblings about Lamar Jackson once again coming to the Atlanta Falcons. I believe it when I see it. I talked about this in an episode a while back. It was a good while back when I talked about it. You started hearing ESPN and Fox analysts starting to say that this could be a reality. Money talks, and he's the prototypical quarterback that Coach Arthur Smith likes. But how much money are you trying to give him? You got to get other players around him for him to succeed. And I think him and Drake London would be a nice fit. But I just don't see it happening. I think Desmond Ridder is going to be the guy. But if anything happens, we definitely will report and talk about it. Also, when you look at the draft or whatever the case may be, a lot of guys are starting to talk about the edge rushers. The edge rushers is supposed to be the guy, supposed to be the position that the Falcons are looking for. There's a lot of rumblings about as far as the mock draft goes, where Murphy is probably going to be the pick for us to be on the other side of Grady Jarrett. On the other side of Ebikete. You also have other people saying that the pass rusher from Iowa could be the guy. It is really, really interesting, with all the players that are being named. It's a lot. And I'm actually pretty, intrigued about that because usually the Falcons are so bad, they basically, hone in on one player that the Falcons need. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like that now. Now it's to the point where with all the variety of things that the Falcons can do, it's really interesting. Like I said, I got some music playing. I don't want that playing. Sorry about that. But I will want to say, like, I'm just looking on a lot of websites, even going to falcons.com where they got Daniel Jeremiah from NFL.com saying that we're gonna pick the edge rush from Iowa. Lucas Van Ness. I didn't even talk about him, so that was kind of interesting for that to come out of nowhere. Mel Kiper got us picking up Miles Murphy from Clemson. That's one I thought as well. Bucky Brooks pretty much said that we're going to get an offensive lineman, Peter Soronsky. I think I said that. Soronsky, I'm sorry. Skoronsky. Wow, I'm not good with names. For Northwestern, I don't see us taking that pick. Mosier saying Miles Murphy. Another person from the Athletic, Dane Brugler, says Peter Skoronsky. This is interesting. Ryan Wilson says Joey Porter, the cornerback out of Penn State. I'm not against that, to be honest. But I just feel like the edge rusher is the pick that we need to pick up on. I will be surprised if it's not somebody on defense, but I would definitely be surprised. I would definitely be surprised if it is a cornerback because I'm not against it, but I really think we're going to go pass rush. So it's just a lot going on both sides. When it comes to Georgia Southern or Atlanta, just not much to really highlight because it's a quieter part of the season because a lot of people say nowadays the NFL or the football season in general never ends. It's a year round. But once you get past like the divisional round or the playoffs, the NFL don't really start picking up until like around the combine time. And one thing about college do get that extra time for signing day for players that they want to sign. So you're going to have another boost of interest when it comes to college ball because guys typically, their signing day is in February. But after that, it's another drop off. You don't hear anything again until April, or you may hear a little bit prior to that because a lot of, players are just, not players, but just school in general is just in and not much to talk about when it comes to college football. So it is truly the quiet part of the season, but it's still, that doesn't mean a lot not going on. Like I said, you got your Lamar Jackson talk, you got the mock drafts are out. You also have situations with Georgia Southern with the coaching and the staff are going to different parts of the state and even out of state to look for talent. It's still a lot. And really, another thing you really want to talk about when it comes to the Falcons, because there's so much going on with the Falcons, do they really start re-signing some of these players that are going to be free agents? I think they locked up most of their core players, the Jake Matthews, the Grady Jarretts of the world. But when you start looking at a lot of guys on one-year deals, what are we going to do with them? The Lorenzo Carters, he played very well. Then you turn around, you got a Rashaan Evans. He played very well. He basically took over what Foye Oluokun did, and I think he ended up having 160 tackles or so, 130 tackles. So he played very well, Rashaan Evans. What do you do about that cornerback too? Do you sign veterans? What veterans do you sign to bring in? So it's really a lot, but all in all, it's just not enough right now. It's going to be a really slow time. It's going to be a really quiet time. But over here, we're going to still continue to cover both of these teams because there's still going to be a lot to talk about. It's just that usually around this time, it just slows down a little bit. And usually, what I used to do before this, the show is what it is now, I used to just have Fridays as more of a laid back episode. So it's kind of like fit in right in what I was going to do. So let me know what you guys think about everything that I talked about. And we're going to close this out a little bit shorter than we usually do throughout the week. And I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. Georgia Southern still moving around, trying to find recruits. That recruiting task never stops. So kudos to the coaching staff once again. We're at Georgia Southern. Coach Clay Helton is doing a great job, in my opinion. Could be a little bit better, but I still think it's great. I'm a little biased. Obviously, you can see Atlanta Falcons. A lot of stuff going on with mock drafts. Who are they looking for in free agency? Do they go after a pass rusher with their first pick? What do they do? Does Lamar Jackson make it to Atlanta? What's going on with that? It's going to be really interesting to see. But let me know what you guys think. I'm going to get up out of here. You guys enjoy your weekend. I really appreciate you guys. Click that link down in the description for BetUS, or you could click the other links if you want to support the channel. I really would appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great weekend, and y'all be blessed. Peace.